So once again, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming to 1 Million Cups today. Today is a little bit special. It is our 6th anniversary. And I will talk about that more in just a second. First today, we have something special going on within 1 Million Cups region. So if you'll do me a favor, if you will text this number to this phone number. It's kind of more an attendance thing for 1 Million Cups. You will not be contacted. They're just trying to see around the country how many people are showing up to 1 Million Cups every week. So if you wouldn't mind doing this for us, we would really appreciate it. Thank you. Everybody's getting out their phones. This is very quiet. I think this is the quietest we've been in a while. Okay, so while you're doing that, I will let our, expert panelists, would you like to introduce yourselves that are also texting?
Maybe. Good morning. My name is Adrienne Haynes, Innovator in Residence here at the Kauffman Foundation, Managing Partner of Seed Law, and President of the Multicultural Business Coalition, with an announcement coming soon.
Hey everybody, I'm Melissa Roberts. I work with the Enterprise Center in Johnson County. We're a nonprofit organization that helps connect entrepreneurs with the resources that they need to grow their businesses. We're probably most well known for our funding capabilities through the Mid-America Angels Investment Network, which is like Shark Tank, but a little less dramatic. And we offer programs like a pitch boot camp and a mentoring program. So if you're an entrepreneur who's struggling to find the next step, feel free to come up and grab my card and we'll find a time to talk. Thanks.
Thank you to both of you for being here. I'm Courtney. I'm one of your community organizers, along with Kyle, Caitlin, Tyler, Billy, John, and Nicole is back on video. I would love to have you guys get to know my team a little bit better. We are actually volunteers that get up every week and run this program. I've been around, I think, for almost 4 years. Kyle a couple, John's working on a couple, and I think the rest are, Tyler, a year and a half, couple. But we give our time weekly to put on this program, so I would love for you to give a round of applause to our team. And then also 6 years. I don't think you guys realize that we have had over 500 companies present in Kansas City alone. That is amazing for our entrepreneurial journey, right? Yeah. And we have been reaching out to alumni recently to kind of get a pulse on how 1 Million Cups has helped them. And we had a really, really great quote from Ben Schultz of Labor Charts, where after he presented at 1 Million Cups, somebody introduced him to a person who is now the CTO of his team. And he gave a lot of praises on increasing his sales and just really helping his company kind of turn around for the best. And so I think that this is what 1 Million Cups is about. I don't think you realize the power of an introduction sometimes, so I challenge you as audience members this year, kind of recognize who is on stage and how you can help them, because I know it's going to make a difference in their lives. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Kyle.
Good morning. 1 Million Cups plays a special role in my story. So when I first moved to Kansas City 3 years ago, I knew there was something cool going on around startups and entrepreneurship, but didn't really know what that meant. And the first place I went to, the first place someone told me to go, was 1 Million Cups. And since I've gone on, to continue working within the entrepreneurial community, and it's been a blessing getting to know all of you. You guys are the real magic of 1 Million Cups. And we are excited to continue to be 6 years running the front porch of Kansas City's entrepreneurial ecosystem. So if you know anyone in your life who should be here to get to know our thriving startup scene, this is the place to send them. Anyone, we're talking about if you have youth, if they're high schoolers you want to introduce to entrepreneurship, if you have friends who you want to bring to Kansas City, if you have friends coming from outer space, bring them to 1 Million Cups Kansas City to get to know our awesome entrepreneurs. Last week I was in Istanbul, Turkey, for the Global Entrepreneurship Congress. So Global Entrepreneurship Network, who runs Global Entrepreneurship Week, which you may be familiar with, it happens every November here in KC, is rolling out a new program called Startup Huddle. And Startup Huddle, you would recognize as being a whole lot like 1 Million Cups. So what was born here in Kansas City at the Kauffman Foundation 6 years ago, grew up in the United States. There are now over 161 million cups going on across the US, is now going to be adulting across the world as a Startup Huddle program. So give a round of applause to yourself for being a part of this program that has made a positive change in so many people's life. Awesome. And with our global focus, that is a nice segue into our first presenter this morning. Let's have a very warm welcome for Jackie with Baraka Village International.
Being a football player, a former football player, does not make me any different than anybody else. It doesn't matter. Mental illness, depression is real.
My parents and family and friends didn't understand at first. I wish someone would have said, like it's okay to feel this way.
The people that we get are people who have joined the military, who have fought, bled, and sacrificed a lot for their country. Some of the bravest people I've ever met in my entire life suffer from mental illness.
I was very naive. I didn't realize, somebody like me could get it and had been living with it my entire life, and I had no idea what it was.
I would hope someone would have said, "Are you okay?" And being able to really discuss it and talk about it.
Those few people who are the closest to you, family, friends, clergy, other people in other organizations in your community, those are the people who are your lifeline.
You're not crazy, you're ill. And when you're ill, you need help.
It's perfectly normal and okay to get help, and there's nothing wrong with you as a person.
Just be there for them, I think is the biggest thing. Just be there for them and know that they have someone they could talk to, because mental illness is lonely. Like, you always feel alone. You feel like no one else knows exactly what you're going through.
And if you stay on the path of recovery and the path of treatment, things will get better and your life will change.
I've been to the deepest hole, the darkest place on this earth, and I came out of it.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Está bien.
It's okay.
It'll be okay.
Where's the slideshow? Anyone? Slideshow? There you go.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jackie Kameri, and I am the founder, consultant, and advocate for Baraka Village International, mental health awareness consultancy and foundation. I am a survivor that lives with bipolar disorder with psychosis, learning, and other disabilities. In 2012 through 2015, I felt severely ill and was hospitalized in various psychiatric hospitals, including the State Mental Hospital. I'm pictured here during my recovery journey. One of the things that I love to do is swimming, and I'm pictured here with some of my mentors, some of my peers, and also people that I've tried to collaborate with from NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, as well as the Global Health Catalyst through Harvard Medical School. Mental health facts, 1 in 5 Americans do experience some type of mental illness. If we look at those numbers, we see 16% is for, sorry, I can hardly see this. It's for white populations, 19% is for, sorry, 16% is Hispanic, 19% is white, 18% is for Black populations, 13% is for Asian, and 28% is for Native Americans. Two times more likely to experience some type of mental illness from the LGBTQ community, as well as 2 to 3 times higher rates of suicide amongst the youth. For the statistics, we see that women are more susceptible to acquire some type of mental health assistance. Now, some of the critical issues faced by multicultural communities would be, I'm sorry, I can hardly read this. My eyesight is really bad this morning, but it's right up there. So one of the things that is very crucial in finding a mental health care that suits your cultural background is one of the things is being able to look for providers that are culturally competent, that do understand our needs. And you can also ask the providers questions such as, do they have any experience dealing and working with people with your type of background? And other things that you can do is tell the providers about your traditions, about your value systems and beliefs. Problems in the marketplace that we face is, number one, is lack of multicultural providers who are not easily found or visible, a lack of multicultural programs which view mental illness as a spiritual experience with social outcomes versus a medical illness. Preferred holistic or integrative treatments or recovery plans are not covered by insurance. Racial bias leading into discrimination, criminalizations, incarcerations, homelessness, and exploitations. Lack of minority role models who have been successful to share their stories due to stigma. Lack of multicultural programs that break down complex medical and legal terminology into layman's language that's easy to understand for people who speak more than 2 languages. The subcultures for Africans and African Americans are often mixed up, while each has its own unique challenges. There's lack of adequate technical usage to bridge the gaps, resulting in inadequate data available for the marginalized subcultures and populations. So some educational and economic solutions that we can come up with is by creating specific programs in linguistics for African and Caribbean communities specifically, as they're both immigrant communities that both speak more than 2 languages. Create programs that address transgenerational trauma from slavery and post-colonization for all African ethnicities. Create programs by survivors, their families and community in collaboration with culturally competent care providers. Create programs by people of color, for cultural integrations through collaborations and partnerships. Conduct speaking services through speaking engagements, technical assistance, workshops, coaching, and mentoring. We can also build smart contracts with viable blockchain companies for medical and creative work. So the clientele that we deal with is mostly organizations, associations, startups, STEM-based programs, corporations, universities, holistic and integrative providers, community-based outreach programs, and blockchain companies. For people with disabilities, both visible and invisible. Creatives such as artists, writers, poets, singers, rappers, directors, producers, and marginalized or disenfranchised populations that depend on microeconomics to strive and thrive, which deal with immigrants, refugees, LGBTQ, and veteran communities. The competition that we face is there's some organizations that suggest that they offer help for people with mental illness, but they end up unknowingly doing more damage than good when they don't really understand and address the cultural aspects of the illness. With the blockchain and cryptocurrency space, it's very volatile, and we've seen a lot of new startups or healthcare companies out there that don't really understand the industry, and thus have created quite a mess in that space. So the product that we come up with is smart contracts for both medical and creative work. So for the medical data is build a repository of culturally competent providers by region who have worked with marginalized or minority populations, create smart contracts on the blockchain to enable patients to create their treatment and recovery plans and be in control of their providers and data. Enable both providers and patients to utilize tokens by available startups, blockchain companies, and well-defined and researched white papers and roadmaps. For the creative work, we can create smart contracts for people with disabilities to showcase their talents and work, protect their innovations and creations, own tokens, and earn income. And that would be for music, art, poetry, drawings, media, etc. And they would also be able to create patterns and earn residual income and multiple streams of income from their own work, as well as coaching and mentoring entrepreneurs, innovators, and investors with disabilities. So the main reason why our product would be different from all other competitors would be it's custom built and designed by an actual consumer who has had to undergo through the entire mental health system, understands the specific needs and wants and challenges faced, such as having to create your own work to earn a living after being displaced by employment due to discrimination and disabilities. And so the product would make it very appealing to medical providers, open to trying out new treatments and therapies, investors, educators, and researchers for ongoing research and development. It would have an easy-to-use interface in various languages, which would make it easy to understand. Once created, the smart contracts would eliminate endless hours of doctor's appointments to get to the right treatments and programs, as they are directly custom built between the patient and provider, and payments can be accepted via various cryptocurrencies or tokens. And consulting programs can also be customized as needed to suit different ethos within the community. So those are some of the challenges that I do face. I currently work as a sole entrepreneur, and I'm seeking help to expand in all areas. Thank you, and thank you.
Give a round of applause. All right, we're going to open it up to our expert panelists.
Good morning. Thank you very much for sharing your story. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month, which I think is really important to highlight. So very timely for your presentation. Thank you. So I don't know much about blockchain, admittedly, so I'm over here Googling smart contracts because it sounds like something I would love to learn about. But one question that I did have is, how do you select, you mentioned that you would select culturally competent providers to help support the mental health activities or supports that you're providing. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you would select, like what makes a provider culturally competent?
Yeah, that has actually been our largest and most difficult challenge, is identifying those actual providers who understand the cultural aspects of the different communities that they work with. So we don't specifically have a repository where we can just pull up. I've been using grassroots efforts to identify them, but I hope using some type of research or some type of data, I can be able to compile that faster, instead of the one provider over here and one provider over there. That's very time consuming. A lot of times you may be able to tell just by the ethnic name once you come across that. And sometimes it may be someone that has worked in those various communities within the multicultural communities.
I have a second question too, just about the business model. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you make money?
Right now, everything is out of pocket. I'm yet to scale up, which is why I'm here. I'm yet to scale up to try figure out that whole model from where I'm growing from the advocacy part of it into the consulting part of it. It's been very difficult to break in. It's been very difficult to crack. And I'm hopeful that it will happen, and that's where I mostly need help with.
Excellent. I want to echo Adrian in thanking you for being so open and talking about issues where there's a lot of stigma surrounding it. So
thank you.
That's awesome. First question is, blockchain is not something that I think the average person arrives at as a solution.
Absolutely.
So obviously you've got some probably deep technical credentials. Could you talk a little bit about your professional experience that makes you the right person to develop this product, in addition to the personal experience we heard about already?
Sure, absolutely. I first came across blockchain technology in 2012 from a developers conference. I do have a background in technology. I have worked with attorneys, engineers, IT teams, and business teams. And so I went to a conference, and I was very captivated by the whole ideology behind it. The actual adaptation is actually higher in Africa than it is like in the US. So the technology was already out and it was already being utilized. In Kenya, we have a service that's called M-Pesa, which is mobile money transfer. And so that gave me the basic platform of like what I would want to build if I ever build something. Unfortunately, I got too caught up on the technical aspects of it, and that was one of the reasons why I ended up in the mental hospital. But post that, it's a solution that I see that is viable because it's decentralized. And so you get to pick and choose, how you want to create like your own treatment programs with your care providers that is specific to your needs. And that is something that was very, very much lacking in my own needs when I had an out-of-body spiritual experience, whereby I was speaking spirituality and the medical providers were all speaking medical terms, and we were clashing. And that's where the need came. I'm like, I really need to figure out this thing. It's taken me a long time to figure it out. It's still a work in progress. But I'm very hopeful that someday we'll be able to have it all together.
That's fascinating. So as you build this team around you, as you said, is one of your goals, what are you looking for in the people that join you in this process?
One of the biggest challenges that I face is finding people with STEM-based backgrounds with disabilities, being able to open up and share their experiences. We have them. Unfortunately, because of the stigma, they would rather remain silent because of their careers or their businesses. They're not very forward-coming with it, but we do have them. So if we create an environment or a platform whereby they can help chip in and help us build this, be the architects of the actual system, we can see that actually develop and grow.
I have so many questions. This is fascinating.
Sure.
So in addition, stigma and dealing with that is obviously a big part of what you do. And so as you're going and you're pitching to investors or you're kind of seeking people to put around you as advisors, how do you address that stigma in a way that brings people along on the journey with you and is productive?
One of the things that I started doing was just sharing on Facebook with my friends. That gave me an outlet to express myself, to express, the frustrations that I was dealing with, the challenges. And so when I have conversations, they're coming from a place that I've actually thought about. And so sometimes I do put in some research into that. People tend to be empathetic once they understand the situation, and they're more willing to help. That has been the success or that has been the vehicle that has brought me to the success that I have so far, just grassroots and, a whole grassroots approach, and also being able to connect with people so that they understand things from a much deeper level, and also being able to relate to that, because a lot of people can relate to that from their own personal experiences or someone that they know.
I hope everyone is really paying attention to this, because this is something that I think it's critical for everyone to learn from. As you're pitching to investors, everybody's got something in their background that they're not proud of, where maybe it's a DUI, maybe it's a business that's gone under. You have to address in a productive way, and I think you found great ways to do that. So.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll ask one more. Can you talk to us? It sounds like you need professional advisors or professional service providers on your app as well as clients. How are you finding clients right now for the app? Users, I will say.
The app has not been developed. It's in the works. There are a lot of challenges building that. What I have right now is a website that I put together, and it's an informational website. So I'm able to share that with prospective clients. We try to figure out some kind of a program or workshop whereby I can show up and we can customize it based on the needs for the business or for the organization. And so it is a work in progress.
All right, we are going to go ahead and open it up to audience questions. I've got one here in the center for you.
Good morning, Bob King. Thank you for sharing your story. My daughter is a master social worker and a clinical social worker at Children's Mercy. Last week, she completed her licensure exam. I have a 1.5-year-old grandson, and so she's a stay-at-home mom, just working PRN part-time. One thing I wonder if you thought of is reaching out to people like her, social workers, because you meet one social worker, you meet their whole network. And so I would suggest that to you as a resource, and I'd be happy to talk to you afterwards and make an introduction.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that.
We have a question in the front on the left.
Good morning. Great presentation.
Thank you.
I know enough about blockchain to be dangerous. So I'm just wondering on that end, you were talking about having, medical records as well as creative outputs kind of in the same, I guess, file program, how you call it. How easy is it to separate those kinds of things because you have issues with, healthcare privacy,
Right.
but also trying to exploit the creative side to help them, earn money off of the things they create while they might be in therapy or whatever. How easy is it to separate those parts of the smart contract to help protect those different interests?
That's actually something that I'm still struggling with, trying to explore, because it's going to take a lot of research to get something that's actually going to work. Right now, still in phase 1, a lot of it is still based on the exploration part of it. With the medical data, there's a couple of blockchain companies out there that already have that. And they're trying to break into that space. For the holistic and integrative providers, that's a little bit different because they have different ways of bookkeeping and record keeping and that kind of thing. So I'm not at a point whereby I can actually pinpoint to an exact cause and effect. It's still the exploratory phase of it.
Okay, I've got one more question.
Sure.
So, especially in the state of Kansas right now, I know but people in the audience might know that mental health services have taken a drastic hit, and so our state hospital has only a fraction of the beds open that it normally does, and so for that reason, people are ending up incarcerated in all sorts of situations that are not conducive to bettering their mental health. So, in that environment where things seem to be getting worse and worse, is this an opportunity? Is this a threat? Does it make it harder to find providers, period, much less culturally relevant providers? How do you think about that?
I see it as an opportunity. There are very many gaps in the system, and that's why it's so broken. Identifying those gaps for myself as a consumer was my #1 step. I faced a lot of challenges in my own care, and that's how I started to identify the gaps. So it is an opportunity to be able to build partnerships and collaborations where we can work together to fill in some of those gaps. And there's several gaps. I've talked to several different organizations, I've talked to several providers, and we all share the same basic understanding is, yes, we need to do something about that culturally competence piece, which is a huge missing element, and it has its own challenges as well.
All right. I think we have a lot of questions for you afterwards, but our final question right now is, what can we as a community do to help you?
One of the things that I probably need the most help with is the business development part of it. Trying to figure out this whole, broken puzzle, trying to piece it together to make economic and business sense, as well as social change. My vision is one day to have a social enterprise, and so that's my vision, and so I look for help in order to grow that in that direction, where we can all be contributors, we can all be stakeholders, and we'll have a much healthier population.
All right. Thank you so much. Give her a hand, guys. Don't personally? Yeah. All right, guys. We have a couple of live announcements. We've got Nicole, are you coming up here first? Which one do you want to go first? Adrian, you want to go? Yeah. I've got Adrian with an announcement about the Multicultural Business Coalition.
Good morning again. Who in here has been to a multicultural business happy hour? Anybody? Okay, we got a few folks. My name is Adrian Haynes again, president of the Multicultural Business Coalition, which is a nonprofit umbrella organization that really brings together the organizations that were designed to provide free or low-cost business support services for some of our community members who have been traditionally underestimated. So we have hosted 5 happy hours so far. We usually have about 200 people in the room and really great networking opportunities. So we'll be hosting our 6th one on May 21st, which is coming up quickly. It will be in River Market. Tickets are $20. They're available on Facebook and Eventbrite. You'll have an opportunity to meet the members of the Multicultural Business Coalition, as well as some pretty cool entrepreneurs and professionals. So I hope you can make it. Thank you.
Adrian, and now we have Nicole. Get him, Nicole.
Good morning. I just wanted to let you guys know, I don't know if anyone here has been to WeWork, but we're doing an event May 8th at 5:30, so it's next week. It's called Being a Boss Lady. So if you are a woman wanting to go full-time with your business, or you're just curious about being a business owner as a woman, it's a great event. You should check it out, 5:30, May 8th. Thank you.
And John's going to run mugs for me. We're going to try something different this week. Raise your hand if you have an entrepreneurial win this week that you want to share. Oh, come on, guys. Raise your hand. We've got one here. We've got one there. John, where are you going? Coming.
Please tell us your name and your win.
My name is Rhonda Dolan, and I look for wins in everything, so I'll always raise my hand to that. This week I'm getting ready to create my entity, and I'm totally psyched about that. So
awesome. Give her a hand, guys. I like that. I like it. All right, up next we have Sakilia with Salty Chocolate for Men. Please give her a warm welcome to the stage. Thank you.
You have to excuse me, I'm a little nervous. My name is Sakila. I am the creator of Salty Chocolate for Men. I decided to become a barber at the age of 24, graduating from Cutting Edge Hairstyling Academy in KCK. In the beginning of my career, I struggled to make money in the barbershop due to no clientele and guys being skeptical about a woman cutting their hair. That caused a serious problem because no money, no job, and I had a 5-year-old son that I had to provide for. My grandmother would ask me, Sakila, when are you gonna get a real job? I get so upset because I knew this was the career that chose me. I can remember being young as 12 years old, taking it upon myself to give my younger brother a haircut with some clippers that I found in my grandmother's laundry room. I had no clue what I was doing, but those clippers just felt right in my hand. The haircut, not so much. I remember begging my grandmother to buy me all the trending hair products and facial cleansers. And I had the bathroom countertop just full of everything. I was dying to be a part of the hair and skincare industry, and I wanted to be the best. I daydreamed about my barbershop and what the products would look like lining the walls. And most importantly, I really wanted to do something for my community, and I wanted to provide quality services and products for them. I wanted my shop and its products and the people that work there to become a part of a pillar in its community by producing quality products at affordable prices, exceptional services, helping when needed, encouraging our children, providing jobs, and building up our people. As a barber, I cut, wash, style different hair types, textures, growth patterns, and therefore I see different needs. Recognizing those needs, I decided to make a product specifically for men. Looking into other products, I found harsh chemicals and ingredients that didn't add up with what the product was meant to do. For example, I found wax in shampoo, and wax in your hair causes buildup, which clogs pores, which causes the hair not to grow and it causes hair loss. So I began looking into alternatives to chemicals. As a human race, we have always been inventive, and before chemicals, the only resources available were natural. Fruits, vegetables, and whatever else from the earth we could grind and combine. In today's world, there are so many factors contributing to our hair and skin health. Men don't have as many options or even close to the number of options that their counterparts do. The guys needed something that worked, designed around their needs, affordable and all natural. Natural ingredients are proven to be more effective than chemically treated products. Many men believe it to be taboo to have a hair and skincare regimen, but quite the contrary. Maintaining a healthy scalp prevents hair loss. Healthy skin keeps you younger looking longer. And getting a whiff of chocolate every now and then throughout the day ain't half bad either. The history of chocolate dates back 4,000 years. The Latin name for cocoa, Theobroma, literally means food of the gods due to the goodness of its seeds. These beans make up about 90% of what the world produces, and chocolate is rich. It contains minerals and full of antioxidants, and antioxidants bring out your body's natural oils, helps control acne, and can prevent hair loss as well. I believe if quality products, services, and support were offered in our community, we could produce more opportunities to grow. Providing jobs along with quality products that work, a business that is local and homegrown, people that care about where they live and work, and humanizing a business and its products by going beyond the core needs of every man. Creating a product, atmosphere, and services that transform a barbershop into the man cave. With this in mind, I created Salty Chocolate for Men, an all-natural must-have for optimal hair and skin health. To achieve such high expectations, all natural was the best way to go. I know you're all wondering why chocolate. Chocolate is packed with antioxidants, minerals. It's also rich and soothing. Antioxidants and minerals alone are two of the most important ingredients I want in anything I use on my hair and skin. My product is definitely something new, but it is beneficial. During a survey in May 2017, 67% of men between the ages of 18 and 29 preferred natural ingredients. More men are putting higher stock into looking good. It's all about self-confidence. Salty Chocolate for Men has been made with men in mind and not just a company trying to sell you something you won't use or don't need. A brand created by a small-time barber with the same beliefs as you and your family, believing that everyone deserves the same quality of life regardless of what they have. Take pride in self and all around you. Dream big, create, build, help, family, community, and most importantly, having a strong spiritual faith. Providing products that actually work, making them available and affordable to an otherwise underserved community. I'm aiming toward the men due to dealing with their skin and hair on a daily basis. And honestly, men are more meticulous about their hair than women. The most important reason I decided to cater to the fellas is because they're handed the shorter end of the stick, so to speak. Men are the bearers of all burdens, dealing with us women, having to lead the family, working in harsh and unusual conditions, and having absolutely no clue how to properly take care of their hair and skin. Most men go out to the local CVS, Walmart, or Walgreens just to pick up the basic shampoo, conditioner, and your basic bath soap. Not everything in stores works for everybody. The deal with other brands is that they have been nurturing women's needs for decades, so it's harder to tap into the men's market. Don't get me wrong, these companies have the right idea. They mean well, but it's not all natural. The main focus is shaving and stripping, which is cleansing and deodorizing. These companies offer the tools needed to survive, but with my all-natural products, you're giving your hair a chance to live. Salty Chocolate for Men is honing in on all the needs of men, including affordability for every man's wallet. Salty Chocolate for Men differs from your basic choice of products due to its contents being organic. There are no harsh chemicals, safe for all skin types, and most importantly, it has chocolate as its main ingredient. Doctors and dietitians have figured out how chocolate can be beneficial to your health. It can lower your risk for heart disease and boost the chemical in your brain that creates the feeling of falling in love. But too much about what it can do for you, but not too much about what it can do for your hair and skin if applied topically. Not only is chocolate delicious, it's rich, soothing, packed with antioxidants. The bonus is the sweet smell. Richness to penetrate deep into the skin, soothing to take care of any itchiness or dryness, antioxidants that prevent or delay some types of cell damage, sun damage, and it's a great source of sunscreen, and it prevents the onset of type 2 diabetes. Plus a mild scent of chocolate to stimulate the senses. Salty Chocolate for Men stands out in the crowd because there is thought, passion, the man's needs for optimal hair and skin health are in every bottle. The thought of every man's needs plus their grooming habits put into play in order to create a product that is ideal for exceptional hair and skin health for the man. The girls have all the options in the world, so I'm giving the guys something that they can call all their own. The truth is that there are some challenges with introducing a new product, especially when it comes to the guys. Men are more logical buyers, want to keep things simple. A man's main concern is if it's as effective as what he's used to using, or does he need it? This concern is usually amongst our older gentlemen, with that percentage being around 23%.
Tequila, forgive me, I'm gonna jump in. I know I need it, and I know you're making me hungry, and I know I wanna leave time for questions. So let's give a round of applause for our presenter. And we will start with questions from our expert panel.
Good morning, and thank you. I'm also hungry and a little salty that women don't get any chocolate, but that's okay. I have a few questions. So do you have this product line up and running today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what kind of products are in the line, and where could someone find it?
We have chocolate mint cream, which is lotion, chocolate butter body scrub, and it's just to get the rough spots off. Shaving jelly, you know, for those in-between shaves from the barbershop, can't get in there, just get a closer shave with something that you have at home. And aftershave splash, just a toner to, you know, refresh, feel good, open them eyes.
Is there shampoo and conditioner too?
I am actually, I do have conditioner. Okay. I'm actually in the making with shampoo.
Okay. Sounds great. And where could someone get it if they wanted?
They would email me, and I would give them a personal consultation, free consultation, and see what their hair and skincare needs really are. Not just selling something to be selling something.
And what's your long-term vision for your business? What does this look like in 3 years?
3 years. I'm hoping I'm opening my doors. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping I can see, like I talked in my presentation, that product wall with all my products lining the walls and performing free back-to-school haircuts, or you know, having a customer appreciation day. I can see that
in a salon. So you want a salon that also sells products?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Just trying to understand. I love it. Thank you.
So there are so many challenges that go along with creating a physical product, especially as you grow, packaging and labeling and manufacturing, and you know, it sounds like right now you're kind of making this yourself and bottling it yourself. What are you concerned about as you grow and these products become more popular?
Humongous orders. Because, I mean, my family and I, my children, and my mother and my brother and sister, we're literally in my kitchen with funnels and bottling this stuff up, running out to your local Hobby Lobby trying to find the best bottle with the best top. And that's really what I'm more concerned about. Everything else, I got it. I mean, I've been doing this for so long and experimenting on myself and whoever else that would trust me, and we've just been, you know, we've been doing this for 2 years, and I believe I'm ready.
So again, you know, one of the things that I always ask about is your team. So it sounds like you've got some awesome family members helping you out. As you grow, you know, what are you going to be looking for first, and who do you think will be maybe your first employee?
I'm looking forward to hiring those new barbers, taking new barbers under my wing and showing them the ropes and trying to help them build their business, because barbers are pretty awesome.
Okay, I have one more question too. Oh, okay, Adrian has one too. Sorry, guys. So one of the big picture issues that we hear a lot about that's a barrier to entrepreneurship, and you know, Kauffman Foundation's done a lot of research on this, is regulatory requirements and licensing, and how that really is difficult for some people to overcome. Have you had any experiences with like your cosmetologist license or your barber's license being a barrier or being something that's difficult for you to handle?
Well, with me being a barber, they don't limit how many licenses that you can have. So with the state of Kansas, that's where I tested out of. The state of Kansas requires the most amount of hours for any state. So it's easy for me to get a new license in another state and still maintain my license here in Kansas or Kansas City, Missouri. So it's not difficult at all.
And of course, we would, on the law firm side, would love to help talk about the regulations required with manufacturing and creating a product line. I won't get into that right now, but can you talk to us about the price point for your product too, and how you've come to the financial model of what it costs to make and what you're selling it for?
It's just pretty much the cost of the bottles and labels combined, which is not. I go through Vistaprint, so I get labels, so many for $10 or whatnot. It's really homegrown. So, like I said, I go out to Hobby Lobby, and sometimes you can get on their internet and get the same thing that they have in store for $2 for 50 cents. So, and especially when you're buying in bulk, I haven't really gotten to the point where I have a big demand. So it's pretty easy, and I priced it because at this day and age, we're all going through something. Everybody's going through something, and I feel like taking care of the next person will help them take care of the next person and the next person, and it'll be like a pay it forward. So I try to make it affordable because they're single parents, they're single dads, they're single moms, and I want to help. I'm not trying to hurt.
Love it. So how much are they sold for?
The smaller bottles are $5,
Okay,
and the bigger bottles are $8.
Okay, great.
So under 10, everything's under $10.
Hey, I'll be coming around for a sample too.
All right, we're going to turn it over to you guys for questions, so please get those hands up. I'll get us started. You're at such a great spot right now. You have passion, you have knowledge, you've created a product, you've tested it with customers, you know it works. You told us your big vision for wanting a salon and filling the shelves with your product, but what's your very next step? What's that next platform you're going on to sell to a bigger audience? Is it building out your website? Is it doing a trade show? Is it getting into a space in the meantime? What's that very next and higher step look like for you?
You just named off everything. I want to get involved in hair shows. I just want to get my name brand out so it sounds familiar the next time it comes up in a conversation, and people won't be like, what's that? You know, they'll know what it is. And like I said, just doing hair shows, getting more prominent in the hair industry, and just building it up.
Yeah, so building off that, what do your marketing efforts look like right now?
I'm currently reaching out to local radio stations and news stations, trying to get just a little spot of shine. 5 seconds of fame if they'll allow it. I don't need a whole 15.
Question here on your right.
Hi, right here. This is a great presentation. 2 quick questions. One, what type of chocolate are you using? And then secondly, in terms of branding, are you hoping for Salty Chocolate to be its own separate brand outside of you and your products?
That's a good question. I don't know if I'm there yet. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna look into that though. That's for sure. But I just use basic cocoa, dark chocolate. It's nothing. What you can get from your organic stores. I go down to City Market and get powdered cocoa. So yeah, mix it up.
We mentioned at the top that 1 Million Cups is a great opportunity to make connections in the community and to get resources you need to grow your business. So what are you looking for next? Where's your blind spot or weak area where you're looking for support?
Oh man, I just need like I said, the support, the guidance, if nothing else, especially on the business end of it. Because I'm definitely new to this. I'm used to running a small booth with a chair with clippers. I'm not used to like running nothing super big or crunching numbers. I'm horrible at math. just guidance, support, and maybe even the contacts with people that might have some type of advice for me.
I've got a question for you in the center.
I hope they prepped you that, when you come here, you get the hard questions, right? So as you were going through, I tried to go to your website and it didn't come up. I did find you on Facebook and you've got about 41 likes, and I couldn't find you on Twitter. It's a digital age, viral marketing. So what are the technical challenges you faced in getting a digital online footprint and social media marketing, and how are you going to overcome that?
My biggest challenge with that has been not reaching the people that I need to reach. So, and then with me being a single parent, I don't always have the time to sit down and get into social media. So I plan on digging off into that more frequently. But there is a Twitter, and it's Salty CFM. It's not spelled all the way out.
Question up front.
So it was interesting to hear that wax-in shampoo can make hair growth stop.
Sure.
Is that what my problem?
It could be.
All right, that was just a moment of levity. So how do people today, kind of piggybacking on the question that was asked behind me, how do people today find out about your product and come to you? Because I assume you're trying to increase that number of people, right?
Yes, I am. Like I said, social media wasn't my friend. I plan on digging deeper off into that, getting some advice from my younger sister, because she's definitely a Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, frick-frack fan. So I'm going to reach out to the younger generation and try to accommodate everybody, because like I said, I'm used to word of mouth. When I was growing up, you hear about this person, and then you go try them out, or you see a flyer hanging up in your at the corner store, and you know I'm used to that, and I've been doing that, leaving my cards at different places and hanging up, little postcards to let people know that I'm still here. So I just need to dig a little deeper off into that social media.
Have you thought about going to people who have similar businesses, not necessarily hair care, but similar businesses who started the same way, who have succeeded, to try to understand what they did to grow their businesses? Because it sounds like you could really use a team that can help you understand all the various facets of the business, because just because you start getting more sales doesn't mean you'll be successful, because you could have an inability to fill orders that could also cause you to have issues. So that's just a general question for you.
Yeah, like I was telling her, that's my biggest concern, is filling those big orders if and once they start coming in.
I've got a question over on your left.
Hi, thanks for getting up there. You're inspiring, because it's
Did you see
scary.
me at the door earlier? Did you see me at the door? I was up there shaking like a leaf.
I'd be doing the same thing. That's why I'm sitting here. You may have said this, and I'm sorry if I didn't hear you, but are you focusing on men of color or all men?
All men.
All men. Okay, so this begs my question. I don't know if anybody's seen This Is Us, that show that's kind of popular. And there's a black boy with the two white kids, and they're at the pool, and this black woman comes up to her and says, "Honey, you need to be taking your boy to the right hair place to get his hair cut, because it's obvious you are a white woman taking care of a black boy and don't know what you're doing." So I was just wondering, because there's a specific need for different cultures and all of that. I mean, Oprah talks about it too, when she went to get her hair done and they fried it all off and all of that. So I was just curious if you had some focus in those specific areas. Thanks.
I've been in great clips, sport clips. I've been in booth rental. I've been in I started out in a Hispanic barbershop. So I can cut, I can style, I can do whip, fry, lay that to the side, all hair. I can do it all. So no lines here.
Question here on your right.
All right, great job getting up in front of a group of people. Is this the first time you presented? Yes, awesome, you did good. And it was good reading your notes too. We're all good with that. Yeah. So a couple things just to kind of get you going on the next thought process. First of all, I love the fact that you're in your kitchen with family, with funnels. That's exciting, and that story you need to document and take lots of pictures if you're not.
Oh, I have plenty.
That social media stuff that he was talking about, plaster that everywhere. People love supporting people that are starting a new business like that, and they love that startup. So my question is it the product or is it the salon? So are you building a salon brand that you can only get this product through your salons and big picture franchising that salon? Or are you looking for the product to go into all salons and have everybody available for it, and maybe they get a certification to know more about your product? And have you thought about that yet?
I have actually. I was thinking about that this morning. And yes, I want to offer it to other barbershops, but I want it to be offered exclusively at mine. So, I mean, you know, I want other barbers to have it available to them so they can come purchase it and put it in their shops. But I wanted to be able to make it exclusively in my shop. So therefore, even if you ain't coming to get a haircut, you coming to get some product, you know, shop looks busy.
So like Sports Clip has their image of what they've got. Yours is going to be more for the barbers. So keep mentioning that your hair will fall out with wax in it. That's a good one for men. They'll pay attention to that in a second. My only last suggestion is people have forgotten about the best business book of all time, E-Myth, Revisited by Michael Gerber. And it's going to talk about systematizing and documenting how you do everything so that you can create a big business out of it. So just refresher, E-Myth by Michael Gerber.
Okay.
All right. Last question that we have for you. What can we as a community do to help you?
I just need the, like I said, the contacts for people that's been there and done that, the support and the love of my community.
All right, folks, we appreciate you today, appreciate our speakers, and she was scared. She was shaking, and I'm so proud of her. You did awesome. I want to introduce to you our caffeinators. If you're a caffeinator, stand up, put your hand up. All right. Now, these are people who are entrepreneurs and they're professionals, medical, law, a lot of different things, very smart people. They're volunteering their time to share with you after the meeting or before the meeting about 1 million cups, okay? So take advantage of their presence and their skills and stop by and see one of them. And you can also see our speakers after the meeting. And next week, we hope you show up to see Wagon Bag and Nella Yoga. Thank you.